happens, I end up with chunks of stuff stuck to my jewelry. Now, once the casting process is finished, it is quenched, and that's the process where it goes into the water, and then the button or the wax tree comes out. What happens after that is all of the metal pieces get cut from that tree. They get ground, they get buffed. If I need to make ear wires for them, I make my own ear wires, I make my own jump rings. Everything that I make here in the store, I try to make from the raw materials up, which makes us one of the most unique stores in the area that I don't buy out of a catalog. I try to make everything here.
My name is Jeff Goss, and along with my wife Joanne and our daughter Ashley, we own and operate the Market Cross Pub and Brewery in downtown historic Carlisle. We opened our English pub in 1994 and named it after the main gathering place in our sister city, Carlisle, England, the Market Cross. We have English and American food, a fabulous beer selection served in the original English pint glasses, and our own brewery out back. And so right now you're standing in the Market Cross Brewery. We have a 10-barrel brewing system that was brought over from England in 1994. It was originally brought in with Whitetail Brewing Company down in York, PA. And shortly after, about 1999, we brought it up here to Carlisle and started brewing our own beer with our own recipes. Behind me is where it all starts. We have a grain room upstairs, and depending on the batch, the mixes and blends of grain will determine the color and the characteristics of the beers we brew. We'll run 450 to 600 pounds of grain in a batch. I have a couple here. One's a pale ale malt. The other is a caramel malt. And you can see the color differences between the two. The process, actually, these grains are cracked when they come down through our mill. And with the use of an auger, we carry them up and bring them down through into our mash tank. The whole time we're bringing the grains down, we're hydrating them. And as they go into the mash tank, they're soaking in water to pull out the fermentable starches. As I said, our system's a 10-barrel system, so 10 barrels would equal about 20 half kegs when we're all said and done. When we do our mash, we do a 90-minute mash on all of our beers. At the end of it, we're pumping the juice or the wort from the bottom of the mash tank out with utilizing hoses into our kettle. The hot liquor back basically is a large hot water tank. We're starting with 400 gallons of hot water when we brew a batch, and we'll pump from here into our mash tank, as I said, and then from our mash tank over to our kettle. Once we have our wort or our basic juice in the kettle, we'll add our pellet hops to it and bring this up to a boil. The whole time that's going on, we have our flowered hops sitting back here in our hop jack, just soaking in water. So the hop flavors, the characteristics, the smell is all coming out of the hops that are in here as we're coming to a boil. Once we come to a complete boil, we'll let it settle, and we actually recirculate. Inside we have a pump and a setup that we can actually recirculate to get a little spin going. It will take about an hour for this process. And then we're ready to pump through our hop jack back into our conditioning room. Of course, we just boiled the wort, so we need to chill that down. And if you've ever been out on a farm or a milk farm, you might have seen these out there, which is basically a chiller. So we can bring it down from a boil down to about 72 degrees. At this point, after it goes through the chiller and the wort is cooled down, we're putting it into a fermentation tank. At our brewery, we have 3 fermentation vats that we use, 2 in this room, 1 in the room next door. We'll add our yeast at the end of the brew shift, at the end of the night, and then that following Monday, we'll crop that yeast off to reuse in a new batch of beer that we'll brew the following week. After we've let it set in our fermentation tanks and we've added the yeast with an ale about 10 to 12 days afterwards, then we come into our conditioning tanks. And these are all chilled with glycol and water tubing that goes around the tanks to bring this down to finish off the beer. Here's where we'll get our color and just our complete finish, our crispness to the beer. When we started, the Downtown Carlisle Association was a great help with our business plan and the demographics of the area, as well as introducing us to our fellow businesses. And we're very blessed that the businesses in this community are committed to the historic downtown. At the Market Cross, we attract visitors from all over with our variety of entertainment and our brewery. With Route 11, Route 81, 641, and the Turnpike so close by, we have a lot of visitors that'll stop in, grab a bite to eat, and try our various house beers. Carlisle's been a great community to own a business and also to raise a family. And at the Market Cross Pub, we're very proud of the fact that we've given back to the community and have helped raise over $200,000 in the 19 years we've been in business for various causes around town.
I'm Neil Weissman. I'm the provost and a member of the faculty at Dickinson College. Dickinson is a private liberal arts college that was founded really at the time of the American Revolution with the purpose of educating students to be leaders of the new democracy. We have about 2,400 students located in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. The college has all kinds of constructive relationships with Carlisle, and we like to see ourselves as really an integral part of the community. We were founded at roughly the same time. Carlisle's a little older than the college, but pretty much founded together, and we've grown together. And so, for example, in terms of, say, the arts, Dickinson's been very interested in supporting local arts activities. We do events in the local theater, and in fact, we've contributed to its growth. It's currently doing a capital campaign, and we've just made a contribution of $75,000 toward a new projector for the theater. We've also rented a building that used to be the YMCA on High Street in Carlisle, and we used the gym, or what used to be the gym there, as our own dance studio, with students living the facility as well. And across the street, also on High Street in Carlisle, we have the Cubiculo, a small black box theater that complements the theater that we use on campus. So we're involved in that way in the community. At the same time, and it reflects the reciprocal nature of our relationship with Carlisle, all of the artistic events on campus, whether it be plays or concerts or dance activities, all of these are open to the community free of charge. A good example of the kind of relationships that we have. We're also very interested in community development, and so we've invested significantly in activities to enhance the primary street here, High Street, which runs through the community, the center of the community, and through the center of our campus. For example, High Street used to be a 4-lane highway, not very pedestrian friendly. And working with the community, with our support, we were able to get that changed and introduce what was called a road diet, in which High Street went from 4 lanes down to 2, making the center of our town much more pedestrian friendly. We house students on High Street. A lot of our seniors are particularly interested in living in apartment-style facilities. And so we've taken advantage both to purchase some properties, but also to lease from local landlords. And about 140 of our students live in the few blocks between Carlisle's center, the center square, and our campus. So in general, we see this as a very mutually supportive relationship. Carlisle is also the home of other educational institutions. The U.S. Army War College is here, one of the campuses of Penn State's law school. The Central Pennsylvania Youth Ballet is also located in Carlisle. And we've worked with all of those institutions to try to enhance the sense of Carlisle as a place where people learn in many different ways and a real destination point for students of all kinds, whether they be young students interested in dance, undergraduates interested in liberal arts education, or military officers getting a broader sense of the world and of issues like leadership. So in that sense, we really do see Carlisle and all of its educational institutions as a whole. One innovation that we've had in the last 5 to 7 years is with a college farm. The college has for years owned a farm given to us by an alum, and we used to use it simply as a source of revenue, renting it out. But we've since turned it into an organic farm, which on the one hand educates our students, gives them an opportunity to do learning and also work as interns, but it also allows us to contribute and connect with the wider community. Food from the farm is not only grown for our dining services, but it supports Project Share, which is a local food bank. It contributes to the farmers market, which is a very vibrant activity in the community, and generally connects us beyond those who live in Carlisle proper with the larger farming community. And it's fairly rare for liberal arts colleges to have those kinds of connections, especially in rural areas. We work with the local school district as well. Our students often go there to be student teachers. That's a service they provide for us as we train educators for the future. But we also have Dickinson undergraduates serving as tutors, and we share in activities with the local school district. For example, one of our Chinese instructors also offers Chinese language instruction in the Carlisle High School, something they wouldn't be able to do without that kind of support. So Dickinson is a national liberal arts college. We attract students from all across the nation, and indeed many from abroad as well. But we also see ourselves as an institution that's very locally based. We see ourselves as being fortunate to be in Carlisle, and we do our very best to be in Carlisle in the sense of integrating with the community, working with the community, and offering our students not only global perspective, but also the riches of central Pennsylvania.
As we complete our tour of Carlisle, it's fitting that we end where we started, right at the center of commerce in downtown Carlisle, standing on the square in front of the oldest building that Carlisle has. It's the First Presbyterian Church, which was constructed in 1757. It's also the site of the weekly farmers market that's held between May and through September from 3 to 7 on Wednesday afternoons. It's where local farmers continue the tradition that we've had for many, many years, bringing their local produce, baked goods, and finished food items for sale to the general public. And now, as we wrap up our tour, we welcome you to come to Carlisle, and we invite you to visit the website, lovecarlisle.com, for all information about our community and all of the amenities and attractions that we have to offer. We look forward to seeing you in Carlisle. Thank you for visiting with us.
This is my town. That means my customers are also my friends. As their insurance agent, I don't just provide advice. I provide the security they need to feel protected. That's why I offer Penn National Insurance. They've been around for 90 years, but it's their great claim service and dependability that matter. My customers trust me for the best insurance on their home, car, or business, and I trust Penn National Insurance. Penn National Insurance. Feel secure.